Hi everybody, my name is Barry Schwartz and this is the Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, August 9th. This is the search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com over the past week. First up, I posted a large Google Webmaster report for August covering pretty much everything you need to know for the past month at Google. So definitely take a look at that. I'm not going to go through it now, but I posted on it on August 5th, so you can catch up there if you need to. A lot to discuss. Yesterday morning around, I think, 3 a.m. Eastern time, Google stopped indexing new content again. This happened back in, I think, May and April, and now it's happening again, or it happened again. If you do a search and try to see any new content for any website, including mine, including any site that publishes content on a frequent basis, or any content that was really trying to publish at any point, some content got in, but vast majority of the content did not. Google seems to have fixed it. They haven't confirmed that they fixed it yet, but based on this morning, probably a few hours before doing this video, it seems Google's indexing bug has been resolved. You do a search for any of these types of sites, you'll see new and recent content being indexed, including this article, which I was able to show right after I published it, that was indexed within minutes or seconds after it was published. And John Mueller said, too, we're still waiting for some final confirmations, but I think things are looking good now. And he also said in a video that he did this morning that it looks like it was fixed. So it does look like these indexing issues were fixed. It was literally basically a full day, I believe exactly 24 hours, or almost exactly 24 hours, of Google not being able to index new content. They did index that content eventually, but new content was not indexed for a period of time. Google said they did adjust their search algorithm specifically to show less pornographic content for queries like lesbian or school teens and stuff like that. Stuff that may not, or maybe should not have resulted in showing certain types of content. Google has adjusted their algorithm to show less of that type of content or search results for those types of queries around pornographic terms. Sorry. Google also went ahead and added a new feature this week for playable podcasts that actually search content within the audio file of that podcast. So if this was a podcast, it's a video blog instead, or it's a video recap, whatever you want to call it, it would actually go ahead and look at the content that I'm speaking to you, and Google will understand what that content is, index it, and let it rank for different words. So here's a video of that in action. You can see the playable podcast right here, and you can actually it actually returns results, not necessarily from the metadata, but from the content within it. And then if you hit play, it will actually let you play it directly in line. Google said they do expect some SEOs to try to go ahead and manipulate this. And because of that, they are looking at spam prevention measures, and they're also looking at quality metrics to show only the best types of podcasts for those results. Google has dropped the magnifying glass in the search bar and replaced it with a search button. So instead of it showing a magnifying glass, it's now showing just search. And you click on the search button, and Google will then go ahead and show you search. So this is what it looked like before, a magnifying glass. And this is what it looks like now, just a search button. Google didn't make a big stink about it, just went ahead and did it, didn't really discuss it, and it's live. Google said in a video that voice search is not really recorded fully in Google Search Console. So if you do a voice search, fine, that'll be recorded. But if you're using Google Assistant and Google responds with a featured snippet in Google Assistant, so you say, okay, and then you ask it a question and Google responds with a featured snippet, that is not counted currently in Google Search Console performance reports or any reports right now. Google said they're looking for ways to include it, but right now that type of query information is not in the Google Search Console performance report. Google Search Console is now sending monthly performance reports. We've seen Google test this previously with other reports, but here, let me just show you the full-size screenshot so you can see it. Hold on. So you can see over here, Google Search Console, your July performance report, it shows you clicks and impressions. It shows you your top content. It shows you your top performing pages in terms of clicks. It shows you how people are finding you, like your queries, top performing queries, mobile devices, desktop, mobile, and tablet, top countries, and type by search, meaning images, web, video, etc. So Google's sending these monthly reports, which I think is great, and you should probably be getting them if you haven't yet. I guess they're testing it right now, so it's not fully being sent out to everybody, but it's being sent out to a lot of people. The new Evergreen Googlebot, which launched about 3 months ago in web search or indexing, normal search, Google said is now supported for the testing tools. So if you go to a Google Search Console and use the URL inspection tool, you use the AMP validation tool, the mobile-friendly testing tool, and the rich results test, that's all using the latest Evergreen Googlebot. And that's a good thing. Not all the tools supported yet, but they all will, Google said. So that's very good. And talking about that, we are using Chrome 76 now, but Googlebot is still, the Evergreen Googlebot is still using Chrome 75. But Martin Splitt from Google said it will be upgraded very soon. Not exactly sure when that's happening. Valentine went ahead and created a feature that actually shows you when it will be switched over. Right now it hasn't. Again, Chrome 76 came out on July 30th, but Googlebot's not yet supporting it yet. You'll see this turn green when Googlebot supports it. So it's pretty interesting to see. Now there's about a 10-day delay from when Google released Chrome 76 to the public, and the actual Evergreen Googlebot's not yet supporting it. John Mueller said that they do not index parts of a page or segments of a page separately or independently. So there's lots of this talk about, all right, Google's going to index this image. Google's going to index, this portion, and put it separately in their index. Google says they don't do that. They index the whole page as a URL for this content. And from there, they may understand different components of the pages, but it's in one index. It's with this one URL is associated with this page. I'm not going to go into all the details around this, but it's around hashtags and stuff like that, and how Google maybe jumps to different sections or featured snippets and all this other stuff. Google doesn't do necessarily indexing of specific portions of pages, just so you know. And there's a big distinction with that, and I wouldn't go down that rabbit hole right now because I could spend hours talking about it, and I'll spare you. Google's John Mueller said word count is not a ranking factor. So stop worrying about the number of words on a page. Google doesn't say this is a ranking factor. He basically wrote a Reddit, word count is not a ranking factor, and that was it. So it's a very short post, which is kind of funny for a post like this, but John Mueller just said word count is not a ranking factor. I found this interesting. In this morning's video hangout with John Mueller, somebody asked him, I have this image, and I want this image to link to somewhere. What do you recommend? And John basically said, if you're using images as hyperlinks to other sites that you think are important and you want to pass that information over to Google, he said, I think it will be useful. What I think is useful there is either that you have a text link as well, or at least that you use an alt attribute for the image to kind of give us anchor text that you want associated with that link. So if you're going to use an image, add alt text, and Google may go ahead and associate that alt text as the anchor text from a normal link. So this is anchor text, alt text on images, that's the anchor text. If I want this to convey that as well, in the alt text, use that anchor text. Very interesting. I don't think Google has ever said that before. I could be wrong. They always recommend using alt text on images, but not necessarily mention that it actually acts as anchor text or may act as anchor text. Google launched a new image search preview box. We've seen this before, testing it, but now when you click on an image, it has this preview box which actually lets you scroll both sides independently. The Google search forums whenever Google makes changes, Google searchers get upset. People are not happy. I think it's fine. I don't know. I don't mind it at all. This has been making me crazy for a couple years. So back, I don't know if you remember, Google was like asking searchers to ask questions in search results. So you saw this feature. Ask your question if you can't find what you're looking for. It was very interesting. It only happened like India and different countries like that. Different variations of that. Now Google finally answered what that is. They're calling it Google Question Hub. It's specifically for like countries in India and that region. And what happens is Google will then go ahead and submit that information to certain publishers, not in English, not in the US, mostly in India and those regions, and say, here are the questions that have come in. Could you go ahead and answer that? It's a beta program. Very, very interesting. It finally gives me information about what that feature Google was testing for the past couple of years was about. Google wants to let them know what you want them to show on their developer portal that you haven't yet shown. So if you go to the Google Search Developer Portal, you can go ahead and let Martin Splitt know I wish you would write about this on the Google Search Developer Portal. Let Martin Split know that. Greg Sterling was at a conference this week, and a Googler said that 65% of all searches are mobile. Here's his tweet saying that. I don't think Google will confirm that they said that. Last metric we had from Google was that it was 50%, and that was like 3 years ago. So it makes sense that it would be 65% or more, but Google has not updated that metric as far as I know. Google, this is another Google Ads type of poaching thing. So what we have here is Google Ads team emailing a client of an agency saying, although your agency said you should go ahead and remove automation or these automated features that we have in Google Ads, we are denying your request or your agency's request for this. And because of that, I'm sorry, we're not doing that. And that's basically Google going over the agency's head that's managing the client's AdWords account and going ahead and denying that request, which is completely bad. Google apologized, but again, Google's doing these things, which is really upsetting. Google Ads launched a new visual feature that shows you your account structure in some type of map. So here's a screenshot of it. You can see like a map structure of your account in Google Ads, which is pretty cool. Google Maps launched new travel features, specifically with that cool AR feature, augmented reality feature. You can walk around and it'll tell you things as you walk, which is really, really cool. This is what it kind of looks like here. In addition, Google Maps also said if you find a cheaper price than what they show on their thing and you book that price for travel, for flights and stuff, Google will refund your money for certain conditions around that. Google Maps added a bunch of cool features around travel. You should definitely take a look at that. Google My Business launched a bunch of features as well. I'm sorry. Google My Business added a bunch of features as well, including messaging insights to tell you the average wait time, site manager sign-up features, as well as status changes. I'm sorry, I got a cough. Oh, wow. So definitely take a look at that if you're into Google My Business. Google Local has launched a new image carousel feature. So we've seen lots of image carousels with Google Local results. This one's interesting because you see it's not just showing one image, but it's showing a carousel of images in a snippet. I haven't seen that before. That's very, very cool. Google My Business has a widespread bug with missing store codes. So if you are in Google My Business listings and you have all these missing store code errors, you're not alone. Tons and tons of local SEOs are showing that as an issue. Google Local Pass is also testing another carousel feature with the ad placed at the top, where it's not actually a carousel. So Mike Blumenthal found this. So here's the local pack, and you see the carousels over here, but the ad is stuck at the top, which is pretty interesting. Rand Fishkin's launched another ranking factor study or survey. He did this back when he was at Moz, and now he's doing this while he's at SparkToro, and he wants you to take it. So definitely take his survey over here. I posted on August 7th. You could definitely get the link from there as well. And then I interviewed in my vlog this week Paul Shapiro from Catalyst and Mary Bowling from Igniter Digital. I have a bunch of new vlogs coming out as well. They actually improve tremendously, I think, in terms of video quality this coming week. And I'm going to Boston this week to interview a bunch of Boston SEOs and SEMs. If you are in Boston, I'm there on Wednesday. I already have 5 interviews lined up. Definitely reach out if you want me to swing by you. In any event, thanks so much for listening to the Search Buzz video recap. My name again is Barry Schwartz, and this is search news we covered over at the Search Engine Roundtable at seroundtable.com over the past week. Again, today is Friday, August 9th. Everyone have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys next. Bye.